gone live yet. Technology is hard. Welcome to the episode of the Popcorn People podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, we are going to give our thoughts on the brand new addition to the Jurassic Park franchise, Jurassic World Rebirth. Before we dive in, Dom and I saw this on the Monday movie mystery at Regal. There was some talks that it was going to be that movie, which is crazy just to think about the fact that it was the movie, because they've really never done something this big on this grain of a scale. But as always, I'm joined by my podcast partner, Don Fisher. How are you, man?
What's popping, Colonels? No, you know what's really funny about so this is I think the first time I've done the mystery movie, and I'm sitting there, and this guy comes to sit next to me. Well, first off, I chose. This keeps happening at the Regal I've gone to, the 100 Oaks one, Hollywood 27. You get a ticket in advance, and no matter the movie, this happened twice. This is one with a mystery movie, one with a regular movie. And I've got my ticket, shows my seat, and that theater has majority reclining seat theaters. Get there, and it's in a whole different theater. So there was one for Final Destination where me and my wife went, and we were like in row like F. And then we go inside the theater and it stops at E. I'm like, what's going on? And I go up to the front and they're like, oh, we had to switch theaters because it was started smoking. All right, cool. They're like, hey, here's a list. We moved your seats. This is where your seat is. Mystery movie, same shit, except for there's no smoking. It was just the fact that I was like, oh, reclining seats. So even if someone sits next to me, they won't be super close. Go to the theater. It's a whole different theater. It's the regular seats. And I had someone on both sides of me, which I did not want, because we're all too big. We're not kids anymore. Sitting next to somebody sucks. And unless they're increasingly smaller than you. But the dude next to me was like, oh man, so what genre do you think the movie is? And I was like, Jurassic World. He's like, oh, what? You think that? I was like, nah, if it's not Jurassic World, I'm walking out, bro. Like, that's why I'm here. Because I was like, if it's F1, I've already seen it. I'm sorry, I gotta go. And he's like, well, I just hope it's like a comedy or something. And he really wanted it to be a comedy, because about half the way through the movie he dipped, and I was like, oh well, I guess he really just wanted to laugh, and there wasn't enough of that for him.
Yeah, that's actually hilarious. Yeah, because I've never done one of these movie mystery things either, and I saw it, and obviously that we had our critic screening coming up tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow, but with the holiday coming up, with the busyness coming up, it just made too much sense. You know what I mean? On top of that, you get to bring the whole family. Not on, when you do screening, sometimes you can only bring a plus one. So because of that, I got a whole crew that wants to see the new Jurassic Park movie. So hey, I'm already a Regal member, you know what I mean? So that's, technically a free ticket, but then the movie mysteries being Five Bones is, you know what I mean? Like you can't go wrong with that, you know what I mean? So on our way there, I kept messing around with my wife and kids. I was like, man, we're going to go in here. We're going to see Megan. You know what I mean? Megan, this is the movie. It's going to be Megan. Yeah. But it was crazy because there are some people that thought it was, and I didn't realize that Megan 2.0 was PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know that. For some reason, I thought that movie was like rated R. It probably should be, but probably make it better. I don't know. I didn't see Megan 2.0 though. So I heard it's terrible. I saw your review and you said it was entertaining. Any quick thoughts for Megan 2.0?
The respect I have for the Megan franchise is the fact, especially the second one, it knows what it is. It knows that it's kind of goofy. It doesn't take itself too seriously. And you just sit back and be entertained. Like it's one of those movies where it's not trying to win awards. It's just trying to entertain and have a little bit of a message, which is about the dangers of the reliance of technology. But other than that, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's not like it's pretending to be super deep. No, it's about crazy robots who want to kill people and the humans who are trying to stop it. That's it. and they just and you have fun with it. So yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. I think most people that didn't like it probably had fun with it, but they like, well, no, I can't because it wasn't Scorsese. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just that's the one you take with your friends and just go have a fucking ball.
Yeah, you want to have fun, you go see Megan. You want to see Scorsese, you go see F1. It's simple as that. Speaking of having fun, I watched Head of State this past weekend. Embargo is up on Friday. It's the Idris Elba, John Cena.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I don't know how to say Chopra Jones, whatever her name is.
Oh yeah.
Nick Jonas's wife. I
Bianca
watched that.
Chopra. Yeah.
Yeah. I watched that on Friday. I think it was Friday morning. I think it was, and or Saturday, Thursday night, and the embargo was up on Friday. I actually enjoyed it. That's another one. It's stupid fun. I enjoyed it. It's not groundbreaking. It's nothing. But John Cena, I think, has got some great comedic timing. And then Idris Elba is like funny in his own way, which is kind of funny in itself. But you put them two together, and I think that I enjoyed myself. I really did. I
Oh
enjoyed it.
yeah.
So, I mean, that was a lot of fun as well. I'm in the middle of watching season 4 of The Bear, which I'm not done yet, but I'm really enjoying. People are just shitting on it already, and I'm like, y'all just like shitting on anything these days.
No, look, and I just watched the first 3 episodes of Ironheart, and me and Ricky have had this conversation before, and I think the first time we had it is before we started podcasting. It was about Bel Air, right? And a
Yep.
lot of times when people, first off, a lot of the review bombing is people they haven't even watched the show, and our country has gotten increasingly more racist when it comes to media. Like before we got on here, I saw the most racist Instagram, or not Instagram, Twitter page, and it's a dude who just openly, blatantly racist, and he has a bunch of followers, and it's real fucked up. But I watched the show, and what I've noticed, the same thing with Bel Air, is when a show is predominant or unapologetically black, people outside of the culture, uh they don't understand certain references, they don't understand certain things. So instead of looking it up and going, oh, that's what they mean, like you would do if you heard a word you didn't understand, they just go, oh, I hate the show. And it's like, why? Just because it's not kicking you out or stiff arming you outside. It's just saying, you already like the lingo and use it on TikTok and Instagram and all these things. But when you hear it outside of a 10-second video, you're confused and angry about it. And then you just say, oh, it's bad. The show's a lot of fun, man. Like it's not the best Marvel show yet. We don't know outside of these episodes if it's great, but it's a lot of fun. And there's been a lot of people making videos that are make very good points about all the so-called complaints people have. You weren't complaining about these things with Iron Man or Hawkeye or Captain America or like all these different things they're complaining about. You didn't have the same exact complaints for these other heroes that you accept. And what's the common denominator? Riri is a black woman. And so it's very telling. People are showing their true colors. It's just crazy to see that. And they're mad. Oh, why's Rotten Tomatoes taking these negative reviews down? Because they can tell you didn't watch the fucking show. That's why. And they also do that for overwhelmingly positive stuff when no one has watched the show. Because what these people don't understand is, as critics, we know that, oh, they're saying they didn't like episode 5. Well, we may have saw it, but we know that it's not out yet, so we know that, hey, you're lying, or you're calling it a movie when it's clearly a TV show, so they know you didn't watch it. So like, it's just weird to see. The show seems to go in a cool direction. The music's cool. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. The first 3 episodes are pretty good. It was a little slower in the first one, but the second and third one picked up. I think it's good.
Yeah, at some point in time, I want to check it out. I watched with my daughter Squid Game season 3. We binge watched. We binge watched all 6 episodes on the couch yesterday when she got home, and yeah, holy shit. It's crazy. I saw some complaints about the third season, and I'm like, man, I really enjoyed it. There's an incredible ending of the show that opens the doors for more, but it's crazy to think that the show, was only supposed to be one season, and then it became more just based off of the simple fact that it got so popular and so big, and it's this global phenomenon, and I loved it. I love the third season. I think it's one of, and I haven't really sat down and thought about it, and I haven't really dug deep into it, but I think it is really one of Netflix's best shows, original shows ever made. And I think it's a great show. Maybe we'll have to come back and review it at some point, when we both watch it. We could talk a little bit in depth about the spoilers, because there's a lot to talk about with that, and I'm not going to mention anything just based on A, Dom hasn't watched it, and B, it's still the opening weekend. You know what I mean? Like, let's calm the fuck down, people, with all this crazy spoiler stuff and stuff like that. But yeah, fantastic. I mean, it's great. All right, so this weekend, F1 came out, obviously. Megan 72.0 came out, and then of course, this coming up weekend, Jurassic World Rebirth comes out. Early chatter about Superman. Apparently, it's very good. One thing I'll say about that is I'm not surprised that the people that got selected to go see Superman on Warner Brothers Studio with James Gunn in person have told me that Superman is good. But we'll see. I'm excited to see it myself. I know Dom is as well. But yeah, so Jurassic World Rebirth was the Monday movie mystery last Monday, and Dom's going to feed us the details on the film.
Boom. Jurassic World Rebirth. Zora Bennett leads a team of skilled operatives to the most dangerous place on Earth, an island research facility for the original Jurassic Park. The mission is to secure genetic material from dinosaurs whose DNA can provide life-saving benefits to mankind. As the top secret expedition becomes more and more risky, they soon make a sinister, shocking discovery that's been hidden from the world for decades. And of course, it stars Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, Mahershala Ali, and Rupert Friend. I'll let you kick this one off.
All right, my expectations were less than zero going into this movie. You know what I mean? And it's nothing against like this Jurassic Park franchise. I think the Chris Pratt version, there was a trilogy, right? It was a trilogy.
Yeah.
I think there was 3 of them. Just sucked my will to live. I really enjoyed the first movie of that franchise. I thought it was like, oh man, this is really cool. Like this is gonna bring us to a modern version of these dinosaurs and stuff like that. And then time and time again, you get away from the idea of what these movies are supposed to be about. Dinosaurs. You know what I mean? Like, and that's sometimes lost in the shuffle whenever you have movies like this. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I feel like sometimes Jurassic World Rebirth falls into that same trap. You know what I mean? The big thing is having little to no expectations for a film and then going in and seeing it and it actually surprises you. That's a good thing. You know what I mean? I don't, predetermine the idea of whether a movie's going to be good or not. No, I don't. I actually was kind of excited once I saw the trailer for the film. I was like, oh, this could be a different, unique variation of this world. And to me, when I watched it, I'm like, first off, way too long. Let's start there. We already know that. 2 hours, 20 minutes. The first probably 15, 20 minutes, you could have just cut that out completely and then been okay with that. But once the team gets set going on their mission, the movie is really good, actually. I found myself enjoying it quite a bit. I didn't. One of the more impressive factors of this film is the homage that they pay to the original. And I think they do that very well through Jonathan Bailey's character, Dr. Henry Loomis. I felt like he probably gave like one of the best performances we've seen in this franchise. And I think a lot of it has to do with the levels of his character and care for the character that really wanted to, again, pay homage to the originals and pay homage to the original people from the first couple films. And to me, that was one of the more impressive things. Another thing, Mahershala Ali can never do wrong. You know what I mean? He's an incredible actor. I thought he was a great addition to this film. I thought that he led the charge pretty well. There's several sequences with him that are pretty fantastic. It has a layer of emotion to it. I think there's going to be a lot of complaining about how often serious it can be. Because again, you're thinking Jurassic Park. and it's like, oh well, why is it so serious? It is what it is. You know what I mean? Again, do I think they go a little heavy on the serious side? Yeah. Do I think there's a little meandering throughout the film? Sure. Um, but ultimately, I found myself really enjoying pretty much everything else about the movie, right? Yeah, I complained about the runtime. It is what it is. 2 hours, 20 minutes, way too fucking long. Way too long. Like, period, end of story. However, I think Jonathan Bailey makes up for it. I thought Scarlett Johansson was good in this. I thought what she brought to this film was better than anything Chris Pratt brought to the original trilogy. And I just think that there's a level of hatred for her just because it's Scarlett Johansson. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Um, but I like the dinosaurs. I like the addition to the dinosaurs. I like how they added the dinosaurs and the levels of the dinosaurs, of how they introduced them. They do give some big things away in the trailer that I feel like they could have not done, and that would have been perfectly fine. I know you're trying to sell the film, but some of your biggest moments, not all your moments, need to be in the trailer. But yeah, I don't know. I really had fun with this. Again, runtime aside, I had fun with it. I liked pretty much all of the characters. There's an unrealistic, measure to this film, but at the end of the day, I think what we're trying to remember here is that we're watching a movie about dinosaurs. You know what I mean? That's what people forget. Like, oh, that's unrealistic. Oh, there's a big 20,000-foot dinosaur on my screen. What do you mean realistic?
Right.
And I also I love Manuel Garcia Rufalo. He is in Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix. It's one of my favorite shows that they have. And it was cool to see him in a different dynamic, playing this father figure. That entire dynamic was part of the reason why I think people are going to hate the movie, just because of how unrealistic the entire thing was. But I really didn't care, because it actually packed some really cool moments. And if you're a dad, you'll see him and you'll be like, yeah, cool. But yeah, overall, like I'm very much, I enjoyed it. I definitely feel like if you're a fan of the franchise, be prepared for the length of the movie. But outside of that, enjoy some new dinosaurs, some old dinosaurs, some nostalgia and all that stuff. And yeah, I liked it. What about you, Don?
Yeah, so I'm kind of in the middle, and I'll start with things that I do like. Like you said, with the characters, I really enjoyed how. Now, granted, it is a little guided because this movie is also kind of for the wonderment of kids, right? Because we grew up watching Jurassic Park, and we got this love for dinosaurs. It was already there a little bit, but then it grew. But I love the way that they kind of showed and explained the characters' personalities through certain scenes. You know, you have a certain scene where you see how ScarJo's character is, and you go, okay, so she's like, she rides the line of like, is she, how morally good or bad she is. Mahershala, the one scene, you automatically know, okay, I like this guy. You kind of like most of the movies, you already kind of know who the bad guy is gonna be from the first 10 minutes. And in the doctor, I believe, there's always, especially with movies like this, there's always that one character that's like us, right? And his like fascination and the wonderment he has when he finally sees the dinosaurs, like in the wild up front, is a really good scene. It's one of those ones where, especially like if you really love dinosaurs, you can really feel uh, that level of love that he has for the dinosaurs in one specific scene. Now, I will say, I think what I disliked is you we don't get to see the legacy dinosaurs as much. It's very brief. I think there's maybe 3 or 4 moments. They're very brief. One's a little bit longer than the other ones. And I miss the animatronic look that we had in like the first Jurassic Park movie. Now I know they used some CGI in the first one, but for some reason, and I think many people have said it, and I don't know the answers because I'm not in CGI, but there's a glossiness to certain CGI across the board in all movies that's like something took me out a little bit, and it's has to do with that. But yeah, the runtime. Why is it that long? Like, if we want a almost 3 hour Jurassic World movie, this needs to be like Rampage, King Kong, Godzilla, or something. And I think um I thought, like you said, I do like the kind of intro into the dinosaurs that they're looking for, and you get a good look, an explanation, and there's some science there that isn't just made up stuff. It kind of just talks about how certain animals move, why they're here, why they're doing the things they're doing, and then the rest of you can kind of like fill in the spots with your own kind of knowledge about animals in the world. But yeah, overall, I had a pretty decent time. I have like because this is, I guess, a reboot-ish type of situation. Because I believe that the dinosaurs at this time, they've been around back on Earth, kind of doing their thing for like 30 years, 32 years. And now people have gotten somewhat used to them, and that's kind of the backdrop of the whole thing, along with the Ford being trying to help humanity, and of course that comes with its own um, complications because we know humans are very selfish. So yeah, there's I foresee that with this one being a setup for a sequel, that it could be a way more exciting sequel since this one is kind of a setup. Because I, if I have this theory, or not a theory, a suggestion of what you do to kind of recapture this excitement and fear, because the first movie it's like a horror movie, right? So if you do something where similar esque setup, people on a boat. Uh, you can do it like Lost meets Jurassic Park, right? They crash on an island. They have to wait a certain amount of time for something to charge to be able to send a signal out to get rescued, and they have to spend 72 hours on this dinosaur riddled island and try to survive. You start off with like 15 people because a lot of them are expendable, and you somehow get down to like maybe five, and just the different ways they have to use what they know about dinosaurs versus protection from bigger animals like bears or alligators or what have you, and see how long, if they can survive those 72 hours. That means you get hella dinosaurs, you get the thrill, you get the terror, and I think that you kind of revamp the whole excitement around Jurassic World, besides it just being a kind of straight laced adventure per se. Without, I mean, I think that's the one thing. The danger is there, but no one feels like they're that scared. You know what I mean? Like if I don't care how long they've been around. If I come face to face with any kind of animal that's fucking 100 stories tall
Yeah.
and could step on me and not even know, bro, I'm acting different. Tough Dom is gone. There's no way I can defend myself against this thing. All I can do is run and hide, and somehow, hopefully, nothing else tries to eat me. And I think that's part of what kind of made me mad. I was just like, there, people are scared, but not to the level that I feel like they should be. Um,
Yeah,
just
because
look at
basically,
people when
yeah.
they see snake videos, petrified. Don't show me that. I don't want to look at that. Imagine seeing a anaconda in person. So if you see a damn, I don't know, hell, even if it's a triceratops, you're gonna be like, oh shit, because a rhino can fuck you up. A triceratops is a little more savage, I'm sure,
Those little
And
flying pterodactyl looking things.
yeah, yeah. But overall, yeah, I mean, I think everybody's gonna have a level of enjoyment. It may not be, it sucks that it's coming out in the summer of F1 and Superman and Fantastic Four, and it's sandwiched right in the middle of all this. So it's not gonna do as well, but it is a mostly good time.
Yeah, I mean, it's about to be banger, 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 right? So we had this weekend, we had F1. Megan didn't do too great at the box office, but I mean, it'll make its money back just based on the cheap thrill of it. But
Yeah.
you got Jurassic World, which the only thing that it's benefiting from is it's coming out over the holiday. So it's like comes
Hmm.
out technically, I think Wednesday are the first
Yeah.
screenings of it. So
Yeah.
it benefits from like having 7 days of like, getting movies. But then again, there's a lot of, I think Superman's playing now, what, Thursday, I think it is, or
I
Wednesday
think
or something
so.
like that. So there's that element of that. But then, Superman, the week after Superman is, well, I mean, Smurfs, whatever. But like Jurassic Park movies are supposed to play to teenagers ish. You know what I mean? But then, of course, 2 weeks later, then you have the Fantastic Four, coming out. So, which I'm actually pretty stoked for. I think outside of Pedro Pascal being in it, but but yeah, you know what I mean. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting if it makes money. It's a bold risk to let it come out so early.
Yeah.
I thought for sure like if it was going to do that, they thought it was going to be like they thought it was like really, 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 really good, and I didn't get really, 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 really good vibes out of it.
Right.
So the box office could be scary. You know what I mean? That's yeah.
Yeah, because I think that the same way that Top Gun Maverick popped off 2, 3, 4 weeks after its release, I think F1 is going to do the same thing. I
Mm-hmm.
think this weekend this coming up weekend, 4th of July weekend, is going to be huge.
Mm-hmm.
For it. It might overtake fucking everything very easily.
Yeah, I
Um,
think there's a likelihood, and I didn't think about that. There's a likelihood that F1 could be the number one movie again next weekend, even with Jurassic World, just based off
yeah,
of, you know, I mean F1, man, it's such a great movie, dude.
and the crazy part is I forgot who was saying it. It was an old school actor, I believe, and they were talking about like it was never about opening weekend,
Hmm.
right? It was always about the third, the fourth, the fifth weekend of a movie because word of mouth is what gets what our job is talking about these movies. The other moviegoers, this is how the movies gain traction. Yeah, the trailer can get somebody interested, but people got lives and you forget. So then once the second weekend, you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, people are like, oh yeah, the movie was great. Da, 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 da. That's when you get the real big crowds is
Yeah, and
the
that's why
second or
Sinners
third
did so
weekend.
well, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
And but so the thing about it is obviously the cinema score plays a big factor in it too,
Yeah,
and cinema score is a big factor in why audiences have not rushed to see 28 years later on the second
yeah,
weekend. You know what I mean? Like that
yeah,
movie's struggling. That movie has to make about 200 million to break even, and it's not going to do it probably. And the second weekend, it's looking like a 75-80% drop, and there's a good reason for it because the movie's not good. When you have a movie like Sinners was great.
yeah,
Sinners was great. The word of mouth on Sinners was great. Everybody believed Sinners was great, so people were seeing it second, third, fourth. The problem is in the middle of summer, you need that first weekend. You need it to be good, right? And the thing about it is like F1's got a long way to recovery because it's only going to make,
hmm,
I think, and I say only, but I think it's going to do like 65. But the first 5 days are projecting like 135 million worldwide. Still has a long way to go.
yeah,
However, the A cinema score, round two is fitting to be off the charts. You know what I mean? Like
hmm,
round two is not going to, that second week dip is where, as you said, it's the second week dip is where audiences kind of take a peek at. All right, cinema score was an A. Ah, shit, people really like A. You know what I mean? A is really strong. I'm gonna go see that. I'm more gonna go see this new Jurassic Park. Am I in the middle? I'm gonna move for action. I'm gonna look at the cinema score. I can guarantee the cinema score of Jurassic World is gonna be probably maybe a B, B
yeah,
minus.
yeah,
So when you factor all that in, I mean, people are gonna go see F1. They're gonna line up, and F1's really adult driven. It's strong. It's got a lot of just like a little pizzazz to it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's gonna be crazy. I'm assuming that F1's about to lose its IMAX screenings to Jurassic World, which is
Shit,
insane to think
that
about
is.
because Man, you gotta see you gotta see F1 in that damn IMAX. Man, you
I
run to
I
see
kind of
that
want to
before.
see I kind of want to see F1 in like 40x. I just want to
Oh my
see
god, yeah.
that what that feels like because the sound of that movie is so good too. But I'd love to feel that like hey, movie's fire.
Man,
Like
it's so
if
good, dude.
look, I know that they haven't come out yet, and I know I write for a geek website, so superhero forward. But if you see one movie this summer, it's got to be F1, dude. It is
100%.
such a fucking good movie.
100%. Yeah, I mean, you got Superman, you got Fantastic Four. I don't care. F1's it, man. And I'm not saying that those movies, those movies could be very good, but the level of F1, man, there's just that final scene, man, where he's racing that final race. Golly, dude.
Yeah,
Not a
it's
fucking
it's
nothing, not a sound except for the car. You know what I mean? Like, and the purpose behind that scene too. God,
yeah, it's very
just
impressive. Like
gives me
I,
chills thinking
it's
about it.
it was the one screening that outside of maybe like when we had Top Gun Maverick, um, Sinners, there was a little bit of a few little here and there of people like but like F1, I didn't hear one, and we have a packed screening. I didn't hear one person say anything negative.
Yeah, yeah,
Anything. You might have had one person that felt like it was long, but the movie you're so immersed and locked in that by the time it's over, you're like, yo, can I get like 15 more minutes? This one
yeah,
more race. Can I get
yeah.
it, please?
Yeah, you're chasing that high with, Brad
Yeah,
Pitt, you know what I
that's what
mean?
it is.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think that's the other thing that, F1's so good is, like, the relatability of, and I wrote this in my review, as a movie critic, as a movie lover, we consistently chase the high of the next great film. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Every time we walk into those theaters, regardless of what people think, for me, I know Dom as well. I'm not going to speak for Dom, but Dom will agree. Every time we walk into those theaters, we want to see a great movie. A great
Mhm.
movie gives you a lasting impression. A great movie delivers something that, in this day and age, in this world we live in, something you can't capture all the time, day to day. When you're you doom scroll through the world, you know what I mean? Like you do now, which all of us do, not by choice, but sometimes, when you're in a position you have to have social media. I wish I could just cut my social media up.
Me
I wish I could
too.
afford to have somebody to do my social media for me. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, I wish I could, but in the day and age of doom scrolling, you're literally this is our escapism. And the thing about it
Mhm.
is like movies have been my escapism since I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like when you have a mediocre, rough childhood and you go through some shit, I went to the movies and it was like, this is my escape. This is 2 hours of my life that I can forget everything on the outside world even exist. And just like Brad Pitt's character in that movie, he was chasing that next high. You know what I mean? Whether you're a failed football player, failed writer, failed this, you went to college and it just went to shit. No matter what it is, you're chasing something throughout your entirety of your life to get that high. And once you chase that high, and once you get that high, you need it again. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, and again and again. And to me, like, F1 was that high. That's that high you're looking for. That's that chase that I'm always like diving into and trying to find when I go to the movie. So it was just such a captivating thing, and I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, just like it's crazy you put it that way because it's just like the same feeling that movie gives me is the same feeling I get when I'm laying down in bed and I'm looking for something to kind of put on, and you go to that one show that you know you're going to enjoy, and that's what this movie does. I feel like no matter if I was going to the theater to see something new, I would always like, but do I want to watch F1? Because you know it's going to give you that high feeling. Yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a beautiful thing. All right. Programming note for those of you listening to Popcorn People podcast: we will be not back next week. I'm on vacation, much needed to chase a different high, the beach, and get away from this world. But yeah, we'll be back the following week, more than likely to talk about Superman, which will be interesting. I'll be back Saturday. We'll be back Sunday. I'm gonna go see it when I'm down in Florida. It's one of the things on vacation. I was told the wife, I was like, I got to do it. I got to see Superman. I really want to see it, so it'd be interesting. Excited to see what it's all about. Excited to see what James Gunn does with Superman. In my opinion, one of the worst comic book characters to do a movie about. So, but it's nothing against that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the Popcorn People Podcast. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
Peace.